Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into TradeChat. My name is Panzer, and there is so much going on in the world of Blizzard this week. Of course, patch 7.2 in World of Warcraft comes out tomorrow, patch 2.5 just launched in Diablo, Starcraft Remastered, and so much more. So I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. Starting off the video with some general Blizzard-y type news, you may have noticed that the Battle.net launcher has been rebranded to just be the Blizzard launcher. There was an update this past week, and all it did was change that little Battle.net and the swirly to Blizzard or Blizz, depending on, I guess maybe if you have a Mac or a PC, I'm not sure. Some people said they had Blizz, mine says Blizzard. I don't know the accuracy of these claims, but I know that a lot of people are really upset that they are retiring the Battle.net brand or logo, whatever you want to call it, because there's a lot of nostalgia tied to that. Back in the day when online PC gaming wasn't really much of a thing, I know especially like Diablo, that was really exciting for people to be able to connect with their friends or people online and play Warcraft or Starcraft or Diablo, and it used to only be able to hold like 1,000 or 10,000 people at a time, and now there's millions and millions of people using it every day, and so there's a lot of nostalgia and feelings kind of connected to Battle.net, and a lot of people are sad to see it go, but I mean, for me personally, I'm unaffected. I didn't play back in the day when it was such a big deal, and I was also one of those people who was very resistant of the launcher. I didn't want to have to open an application to open another application. Okay, stay out of my life, Blizzard. I'm kidding. Now, of course, I use it, but I don't know. All in all, it doesn't really affect me. It's just kind of a different logo, but I do know a lot of people are upset about it, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is this something you're sad to see the Battle.net branding go, or do you not really care, or maybe you're even happy? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to hear your input. Last week, we saw Hearthstone price packs go up by about 11% on average in countries outside of the US, and this had something to do with a currency conversion that is above my pay grade. I do not understand, but I know a lot of people were rightfully upset because it costs a little bit more in other countries than it does in the US to buy the same thing. And then this week we found out that as of April 4th, World of Warcraft character services will also be increasing in price due to that same currency conversion. And now, obviously, people are not pleased about this because it affects all character services as well as pets and mounts and vanity items from the store. Anything pretty much digital that you buy is affected by this. And I feel like people are upset for multiple reasons. One, everything is just digital stuff. It's just pixels. So it's sort of like the price on it is an arbitrary number, at least from a consumer standpoint. I'm sure that Blizzard has a leg to stand on as far as their pricing, because they have to maintain servers and host all of this content. It's very expensive, I'm sure. But from a consumer standpoint, without a real explanation outside of currency conversion, it's hard to understand why it costs exactly this much money to buy a skin or to buy a mount or to transfer your character or to change your name. Like those things don't really have a tangible value in the real world, so it's obviously upsetting when their price goes up when a lot of people are already confused about why the price existed in the first place. Then you also have to consider that if we're seeing price increases in Hearthstone and in World of Warcraft, will other Blizzard games be affected too? Are we going to see countries outside of the US have more expensive loot boxes in Overwatch, or are they going to have more expensive microtransactions in Heroes of the Storm, which is already an arguably extremely expensive game to get into? I mean, yes, it is free to play, but the heroes cost like $10 a piece. Some of the skins and mounts are like $15, $20. Like, it's so expensive, and it takes such a long time to grind out the in-game currency that I feel like I don't know. I read an article this week that was really interesting talking about how the business model for Heroes of the Storm is not really viable in today's markets. When you compare Heroes of the Storm to its competitors like League of Legends and Dota, as well as like Smite and stuff like that, that Heroes of the Storm is just so standout expensive that Blizzard already should consider adjusting the business model and how people pay for the game. But to think that there's a possibility that they'll be increasing those prices without changing the format of the the payment structure and the business model is insane. I don't have anything else to say. I mean, obviously I am in the US. These prices don't directly affect me, but I feel for the people that they do affect, and I really, really hope that we don't see this as a trend across the board. Although, not to play devil's advocate or anything, but if they kind of don't increase prices across the board, isn't that sort of admitting that whatever that thing was overpriced to begin with? I mean, if they have to adjust X and Y because of currency conversions and not Z, wouldn't that say that Z was a little too expensive to begin with, because otherwise that should go up with currency conversions anyways? And it also makes me curious as to why these prices weren't announced all at once, because I feel like that would have been like ripping the band-aid off, whereas this was more like slowly trickling the information to you and just cutting and twisting slowly. That got a little dark, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. Definitely read that article because it's super interesting, and my takeaway from it was that it is completely accurate. You know, like, I think that Heroes of the Storm is a little bit too expensive, and I would love for them to adopt a pricing structure similar to Smite was the example that they gave, where you could buy all of the heroes if you wanted to, and then the only thing you're really paying for is skins and mounts. I don't know. I definitely think it's a little bit too expensive, but I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on the whole currency conversion, the price hike outside of the US, and if you think that other Blizzard things are going to be affected by this as well, and if you think that's just, these are a lot of questions I'm asking you, but I think you have a lot of answers, so let me know. Moving on to Overwatch stuff. This is silly, and I guess it's not news.
Fake news. Sir.
Okay, it's not like that bad, but I'm super excited because the Tracer Nendroid is coming out this year, and this week we got some new images of her, and she looks amazing. And now this is my first exposure to Nendroids. Obviously, I collect pops. I have a lot of them, and I've heard a lot of people say, you know, pops are just wannabe Nendroids, which after learning about Nendroids, I would disagree, because Nendroids are awesome, and I wish I had more of them. I wish I had any of them. They're amazing. They're all posable, and then their stand comes with this little arm so that you can like pose them in the air and put them in any position you want.
That's what she said.
I will definitely be collecting the Tracer one, and I hope that they come out with more Overwatch ones in the future because they're so cute. I just want to die. I don't really want to die though. I mean, they're cute, but they're not that cute. On to actual gaming news for Overwatch. If anyone has been keeping their eye on the PTR, obviously this is the patch that is going to change Lucio a bit. It's going to decrease his radius, but increase other things, buff his wall run. But there were a couple changes that I feel like went unnoticed on the PTR until very recently. The first one is that there is now an option to report your teammates for poor teamwork. This seems like a feature that probably shouldn't make it to live, in my opinion. I think it's something that could definitely be abused. I think it could be used for kind of malicious purposes. I don't understand how you can decide that someone is, you know, not being a good teammate, because I feel like often the people who accuse others of being bad teammates are the ones who are bad teammates themselves. Oh my god, maybe that's it. Maybe this is reverse psychology. Maybe Blizzard is looking for the people who repeatedly report people as bad teammates, and they're like, ah, found you, Mr. Toxic. I see what you're doing there. But in all seriousness, I just think this is a feature that can be abused. And I also feel like a lot of the other options for reporting people now sort of cover actual poor teamwork. So what is the point of this? I don't know. I don't like it. I would love to hear your thoughts. I hope this isn't something that makes it to live servers, because I just see it kind of opening a can of worms that doesn't need to be opened. And I also don't like the non-clarity that comes with what poor teamwork means, because some people would argue that insta-locking Hanzo is poor teamwork. Some people would argue that the people who don't talk in team chat is poor teamwork. Some people would argue that the people who talk too much in team chat is poor teamwork. Some people would argue that people who are just bad at the game, that's poor teamwork. And I just feel like it's just, I think there's a lot of room for abuse, and I think there's a lot of unclear details, and I don't feel like any good reports are going to come out of this. But then I also have feelings about Blizzard and World of Warcraft's reporting system in general. I wish it was more like League of Legends. I liked, when I played League of Legends, going to the tribunal and reading report cases and seeing if they were valid or not, and I liked that that was something that they kind of left up to the community. And I know that they never banned anybody solely based on community feedback, but it really helped them weed out some of the bad reports, and it also gave you IP for doing this. I don't know. I would love to see a more community-based Overwatch report system so that players really felt like they understood and had full transparency of what reporting does and what it means. And, you know, because I've gone in games before, and if you guys, any of you watched my PAX East stream, holy God in heaven.
Oh, I got something, you dumb c***. You just shut your mouth. Wrap your lips around my c*** and shut the up.
In my personal experience, people are not generally that toxic, but when I reported that person, I would have liked feedback from Blizzard that says, we reviewed this report and you're right, this player was out of line, we've suspended his account for 24 hours, or we've sent him a warning or something. Because when you're really genuinely faced with that type of toxic behavior, like, it kind of feels bad knowing that that person could still be out there being extremely rude and uncalled for to other people. So, I don't know, I think the whole reporting system as a whole could be better, not just in Overwatch, but all Blizzard games, and this whole segment got very rambly. I'm sorry, I'm gonna move on now. In the world of Diablo, of course, patch 2.5.0 is now live. This is an awesome patch that updated the game to include sets and builds and loadouts so that you could quickly change between different sets of gear and different specs. I'm not sure if that's actually the proper Diablo term, but it's called the Armory, and it allows you to save 5 different loadouts, which I think is very, very helpful because that was one of my biggest pet peeves about Diablo, is you get your Marauder set and then you get a different set and then you have to constantly switch back and forth and you're like screenshotting what you're doing to try to remember. I don't know, it was a lot. So I'm really glad that they added the Armory. They also added a new materials, crafting, storage tab so that would clear up your shared stash tab. This was also the patch that added ancient primal legendaries, which people are very, very excited about. And one of the things I noticed while I was researching this video is that now with this patch, ancient legendaries will give you 3 Forgotten Souls and primal ancient legendaries will give you 15. Another quick thing I wanted to mention about Diablo patch 2.5 is that bonus acts have been removed. Now, if you do any 5 bounties, you will be rewarded with similar rewards to bonus acts, which is very nice because that was awful. And all it led to was people doing the 5, resetting the game, doing those 5, resetting the game. So there wasn't a lot of point to it. So this is a big quality of life change, especially if you're farming something like the Ring of Royal Grandeur. And obviously, I can't forget that Diablo Season 10 begins on March 31st. I'm so excited. I am going to be playing either a Demon Hunter or a Wizard because I always play a Demon Hunter or a Wizard, but I haven't quite decided what yet. Are you going to be playing Diablo Season 10? Are you one of the people who's going to get to try it on console for the first time ever? I'm so excited for console players because I think Diablo Seasons is like the most fun thing about Diablo, even though this is my big gripe for the week. Why is there no pet reward for this Diablo season? I was very disappointed by that, but I'm also an avid pet collector, so of course I'm disappointed by that. And of course, the wildly popular Starcraft news this week is that Starcraft Remastered is coming out soon. It will have 4K graphics with a full classic campaign, as well as online and LAN play. These side-by-sides look amazing. It looks pretty much exactly like the old game, but a little bit better. I will definitely be playing Starcraft Remastered because that was a campaign that I never played, and I'm very interested in the story. Is it a game that you're gonna play? Are you hyped for it? Are you so excited? Did you play StarCraft 1? These are a lot of questions, but if you like StarCraft, I'm sure you won't mind answering them. And finally, on to World of Warcraft. Let's put 7.2 aside for a second and just mention a couple other things that I want to get into before I get into that. Number 1, this is Pet Battle Bonus Week, so if you like to level your pets, definitely do this. During this week, you can get pets from 0 to 25 in like 2.5 battles, so if you're interested in that, definitely do it. The Dark Moon Fair is in town next week if that is something you're interested in, and also all World of Warcraft character services are on sale until April 4th for like 25% off. I know it's also $10 off of Legion. So if those are anything that interests you, that tickle your fancy, get on it, all right? Okay. And as you likely know by now, 7.2 is launching on March 28th. It is a massive patch bringing tons of changes, many of which are going to be scattered throughout the next couple months, but there's a lot of stuff just coming tomorrow, and if you haven't seen it, Blizzard put out an awesome trailer for it in the description below. I will go ahead and link my reaction to it as well as the original video, but definitely check it out. Back to 7.2, like I said, a lot of that patch is not going to be immediately available on March 28th, but that doesn't mean that a ton of it won't be available because it is a massive patch and we are going to be seeing a bunch of it immediately. That includes the new Broken Shore questing zone as well as PvP Season 3 and the new weekly PvP brawls, which seem like an absolute blast. People are going to be able to put more talents into their artifact as well as use more artifact power and gain more artifact knowledge levels. You will also be able to start your class challenges. You will be able to do pet battle dungeons. There's a bunch of UI updates, including the ability to, oh, I don't know, get all of your mail at once. There's been spellbook improvements. There's been some improvements to the transmog system. You will be able to set sets, you get what I'm saying, within your gear, you know, loadout, so that when you change specs, you'll automatically change gear. That wasn't promised to us when they announced Legion or anything like that. Anyways, getting back on task, tomorrow we will see the start of Paragon reputations with Broken Isles factions, as well as a bunch of changes to dungeons. Karazhan is getting split into upper and lower, and will also get a Mythic plus difficulty. Court of Stars and Archway will get a Heroic difficulty. All dungeons will be brought up in difficulty, as well as eye level of loot to bring them up to the standards of where we're at today. And we will also see a brand new dungeon, Cathedral of Eternal Night. Now that's a lot of stuff, and that's not even everything that's coming out on March 28th when 7.2 launches, but there are a few things that were highly anticipated. They're being staggered over time. So for instance, you won't be able to finish Broken Isles Pathfinder Part 2 until at least April 4th, because that's when Invasions are coming out. Those new class champions that everybody's really excited about, those aren't going to be out until mid-April. You won't be able to earn your epic class flying mount until sometime in June, and Tomb of Sargeras isn't coming out until over the summer, and that's also when you'll be able to do Power Ascended, which maxes out your artifact weapons. So there's a lot to still look forward to, even considering all of the stuff that's coming on March 28th.
That's what she said.
And that's it for my video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please rate it thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Let me know in the comment section below what you are most excited for that we found out this week in Blizzard. Is it patch 7.2 in World of Warcraft? Is it patch 2.5 / Diablo Season 10? Maybe it's seasons on console in Diablo. I don't know, maybe it's Starcraft Remastered. Let me know in the comment section below, because I would love to hear your thoughts on this whole situation. I'm gonna go though. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I love you all so much. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. 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 Yeah, I'm excited about everything, let's be honest. That we broke this week, I guess we didn't break anything. The Battle.net launcher has been rebranded. Battle.net is no more, which is really weird because I feel like it's my battle tag, and if there's not Battle.net, why is it a battle tag? Is it not a battle tag anymore? I don't know. Very expensive. I will link an article that will have a heroic difficulty.